The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, I'm Maricela Kelaton. This is TV1 News.
And I am Rex Lita. Join me later for sports.
In this edition, REDD Plus Safeguards Guidelines launched, 60th Morbe Show preparations underway, and Hunters produce miracle comeback. YR Education Foundation, a locally groomed NGO, officially launched a partnership program with the Southern Highlands Provincial Health Authority in Mendi Town recently. Founder Jackson Pondier from Mendi Munihu initiated this foundation in 2018 to give something worthwhile back to his community, province and country by creating a pathway for students to do professional studies in the U.S. SPPHA Curative Health Services Director Dr. Martin Saayu expressed gratitude towards the partnership and said they will work closely with YER in the implementation process. Mendi Munihu District Administrator Philip Koka, on behalf of the District Development Authority, committed to support the program with funding. Professor Joseph Sukwianom was guest speaker. He officiated the launch. The National REDD Plus Safeguards Guidelines is a policy guideline designated to address carbon emission, climate change, and safeguard of forest preservation. Was launched on Thursday, August 3rd in Port Moresby. The launching was officiated by members of Climate Change and Development Authority, the Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Simon Kilepa, and other key partners.
Papua New Guinea has taken a global lead in seeking to combat climate change since 2005 at COP11 in Montreal, Canada, when PNG and Costa Rica introduced the concept of REDD Plus to the United Nations Framework on Conservation on Climate Change. Since then, the government of PNG, through the Climate Change and Development Authority, with the support of partners, have progressed REDD Plus readiness, demonstration and implementation in the country. CCDA Acting Managing Director William Lakin said the document was established to guide, accommodate and regulate project of REDD Plus activities within the national REDD Plus approach and establish requirements which will inform regulation of the carbon trading space. He said given the existence of the document, there is still a need to sustain strong in-country REDD Plus safeguard guidelines.
It will provide the necessary framework for regulating how the country's REDD Plus qualitative and quantitative information for reporting to UNFCCC, and therefore ensure integrity of the country's REDD Plus results.
Williams said PNG has shown leadership in addressing and capitalizing of negative effects of climate change, and REDD Plus is a viable indicator to support countries addressing climate change.
REDD Plus is perceived as a goal to be achieved in alignment with the country's development aspirations, a financial mechanism to support countries in addressing climate change.
He said achieving REDD Plus through various land use and forestry sector effective measures must be contributed towards strengthening long-term economic growth and promoting community livelihood while ensuring that PNG forest is sustainably utilized. The Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Simon Kilape, said the document will provide the government with guidance to ensure regulatory is mandated for carbon oxide projects in PNG while ensuring that landowners' rights are protected.
Currently, the guideline guarantees the right of customary landowners are protected during the interface, so interactions with carbon project designers, developers, investors, and or parties working on behalf of proponents. The current state of play works towards facilitating of diversified economic base for the country, which is an alignment with the government focus on economic development whilst protecting customary landowners looking to participate in such economic initiatives on their land.
Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
Applications for indigenous Papua New Guinean businesses to apply and represent Papua New Guinea as delegates in the World Indigenous Business Forum in October this year are now open. Minister Richard Maro made the announcement this morning. The government of Papua New Guinea, through the Ministry of International Trade and Investment and the National Capital District, will be hosting the World Indigenous Business Forum 2023 from October 24 to 26.
Out of the 1,000 official delegates, 500 will come from the host nation, which is Papua New Guinea. The government is now calling on Papua New Guinean businesses owned by the indigenous people of this land to apply. Advertisements are now in the paper to apply to be selected to represent Papua New Guinea in the forum.
The applications for the PNG indigenous businesses will close on August 18. The selection process will be done in consultation with the Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Council.
We are looking for companies who are exporters, like our coffee exporter, those who are trading with other countries, to attend the forum. In the forum, they will meet 500 indigenous businessmen and women from around the world who are coming to do business with our indigenous business community. They want to form partnerships. They want to look at our products that they can export to their countries. They are looking at appointing agents to be agents for them to sell their goods and services.
Minister Maro made another call for government agencies and the private sector to come on board as sponsors to support this global event, which will cost about 7 million kina to host. So far, the WIBF's only official sponsors are the Special Economic Zone Authority and the Department of International Trade and Investment, committing 300,000 kina each. Furthermore, it is the hope of the Ministry of International Trade and Investment that the WIBF will elevate the operations and the capabilities of indigenous, medium, small and micro enterprises of Papua New Guinea, then creating a vacuum to allow new entrepreneurs into the MSME space. A roadshow for the World Indigenous Business Forum application will be held in 4 different locations leading up to the due date for all applications, August 18, 2023.
So we will be doing a roadshow between now and the 18th of August in 4 different destinations. So we'll do one in Mount Hagen, one in Lae, one in Kokopo, and one in Port Moresby. So we'll do 4 different regional workshops, roadshows. And this roadshow will be led by MSME but assisted by WIBF Secretariat so that we...
Mrs. Waraka Emanua says it is important for Papua New Guinean MSMEs to understand the significance of the WIBF that is set to bring indigenous business operators and entrepreneurs from the world over.
We in Papua New Guinea, of course, when we talk about indigenous, we look at the low level of SMEs and all that. But I think some of these indigenous businesses that are coming from abroad, they're at a very high level as well. So it's a good opportunity for our businesses to connect with them so that our businesses can graduate also to that next level. Because we've got a base that is full of SMEs and micro SMEs, it is time for us to graduate to the next level. And this is an opportunity for us to do that.
It is the hope of the Ministry of International Trade and Investment that the WIBF will elevate the operations and capabilities of the indigenous medium, small and micro enterprises of PNG, then creating a vacuum to allow new entrepreneurs into the MSMSC space. Jack Bilak and Steve Dirrell, notorious gang leaders responsible for a spree of violence in East New Britain, have been killed by police. The duo were involved in murder, rape, looting and arson. A media statement from the police stated that on Friday, August 4th, police received intelligence that the fugitives were on the move in a white Nissan Navara. Law enforcement established a roadblock at Tomaringa Gate, but the fugitives defied the blockade, triggering a high-speed chase. The chase eventually led to Vunakabi village along the Kokopo Keravat Road. Police fired live rounds to disable the fugitives' vehicle, but a confrontation ensued as the armed fugitives attempted to flee. In the ensuing clash, both Bilak and Dirrell were fatally shot. 19 associates were detained for aiding the fugitives. TVWAN News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, a scale race, family meal with home. We'll bring up the smiles cause it's our favorite from us. Tennessee cola, scale rice, long scales, scale price. Tennessee cola, scale rice, long scale price. Amber, you like it?
Papua New Guinea. We love a reason for a family gathering. A reason to play. A reason to ignite the flame. A reason to cook the best with the best. Flame Oil, now PNG made for PNG cooking. Flame Oil, winning taste.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Fine PNG made.
Open Vents.
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
What a beauty! He's on absolute fire! Sensational! Phenomenal! What a goal! Lewandowski! Ribéry on a volley! Oh, that's quality!
Australia's favorite chef is taking you around the world to meet amazing people.
Teach me how to make this one.
Experience delicious food.
Bon appetit.
And discover the most incredible flavors.
Yum. Nice.
This is a culinary expedition on a budget.
50 rupees. That's a deal. Whoa.
Cheers. Around the world with Mano Fudal, a brand new series coming soon on Outdoor.
How do you like
Welcome back. The Morobe Provincial Health Authority will be decommissioning the old Enga Memorial Provincial Hospital morgue on Thursday, August 10th at 2 p.m. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Keepers being advised that there will be no drop-off or pick-up of bodies during that time. He asked that the public adhere to this and make prior arrangements to remove bodies of their loved ones from the morgue before the scheduled date or after. The notice is to allow for a smooth transition of the use of the old morgue to the new one. In lighter news, the Morobe Show Committee is excitedly preparing for this year's 60th Diamond Jubilee Show, scheduled for November 4th and 5th. The Morobe Show is the last remaining agricultural show in PNG.
Organized by the Morobe Provincial Agriculture Society, a non-profit organization run by volunteers, the highly popular Morobe Show began in 1959 and is poised to celebrate its 16th Diamond Jubilee this year. President of the show's committee, Mike Huan, said they have started having monthly meetings in preparation for the show. Their first meeting was on June 28, while the second was on July 2nd.
The show this year is on the 4th and 5th of November. It's unusual for it to be in November. Normally it's in somewhere in October, but our dates are set by the weekend closest to the full moon, and in this particular instance the weekend closest is the first weekend in November. We're very excited because this is our Diamond Jubilee show. It's our 60th, and over the history of our society, 5 years we've not had shows, most recently because of 2 years of COVID. And 3 occasions prior to that. So our show society actually goes back about 65 years, but this is our 60th show. So we're going to try and make it a big one, make it a very special show, and we've got lots of entertainment that's going to be taking place. Last year was our first show after COVID, and so things were a little bit quieter in terms of preparation.
Last year, the highlights of the 59 Morobe Show were the Sing Sing groups, cowboy events, dreadful bike riders, parachute drops, and spectacular flag displays and mock battles by the PNG Defence Force. Kwan said they are also fixing the ferries wheel, and hopefully it will be in the operation this year.
Councillors have been allocated their duties, and so they're all in the process of looking after the various activities that they're controlling, agriculture, horticulture, traditional dancing, port ring events, and on it goes. The special one this year is going to be the family arena down on the Scrum Oval. It's proving to be bigger and bigger every year. Of course, our Health Expo will be operating again, which is a great opportunity for people to come and see nurses and talk about issues with their health, HIV, AIDS, all sorts of things in that area. The other one, of course, is the blood bank is normally there, so it's an opportunity for people to donate blood.
With the significance of this year's show, the committee is looking to invite Prime Minister James Marape and Deputy Prime Minister John Russo to the opening of the 6th Morobe Show on Sunday, November 5th. Tracy Part, TV1 News.
The member for Ijivitari Open, Richard Masere, has announced that the inaugural Popondetta Arts and Music Festival will be launched on September 16 in Popondetta town. The MP said for the first time the festival will feature Papua New Guinea artists like Wame Blood, Stagaja, and other PNG music artists.
Unlike the Tapa and Tattoo Festival, the inaugural Popondetta Arts and Music Festival will be an avenue to showcase local talent through music. Ijivitari MP Richard Masare said this festival will be the first of its kind for Popondetta.
The starting of the event may start depending on the keen interest that's been shown by our local artists and our local talents. There's quite a lot of them that have queued up to register.
He said the festival will also pave way for the music industry to create a PNG Music Council that will be established to monitor and regulate the music industry.
And agree on setting up a PNG Music Council. And that Music Council will be there to regulate bring about changes to some of our copyright laws, particularly that governs music industry, and then we can bring those to Parliament.
He said the music industry is a sector that does not have enough support from the government and often does not make money. Therefore, establishing this kind of initiative will enable support from the government. Masare added that this show will also create employment for young Papua New Guineans in the music industry. Wame Blood frontman Jimmy Yawari thanked the member for the initiative, stating that this will be the lifetime opportunity for the music industry in PNG.
We are struggling as some of the musicians. We only depend on daily or weekly gigs just to make something out of all of us. Some of the band members, they don't work, so they do full-time music. They produce, and once we got like gigs every Friday, Thursday, that's how we look after ourselves. So I think it will be good that we can set up this structure in place for the music industry. So we have.
He added that the entertainment and music industry needs support, and this festival will be the step forward. Tracy Parr, TVWAN News.
Papua New Guinea's reggae sensation Enslom has proudly clinched the Band of the Year award at the 2023 International Singer-Songwriters Association Awards in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. This victory is a testament to Enslom's musical dedication and collaboration with producer Emmanuel Muganawa, also known as Toxic Man, Bassline and Big Records. The achievement is dedicated to his countrymen and the Pacific community, resonating with the love for reggae. Enslom's gratitude extends to music brother Jokema for his donations to this trip and to his mother for her love and support. The win highlights the power of passion and unity in the world of music. In a remarkable display of camaraderie and mutual commitment, Teddy Mining Limited played host to a distinguished delegation from Mitsubishi Materials Corporation during the past week. The engagement took place against the backdrop of strengthening trade relations and alignment of corporate values. Teddy Mining Limited welcomed a distinguished delegation from Mitsubishi Materials Corporation last week, signaling a renewed commitment to their partnership. MMC, a prominent Japanese copper concentrate consumer, engaged in discussions showcasing shared sustainability goals and business continuity. The MMC team, led by Hiroyuki Tsukamoto, General Manager of the Raw Materials Department and accompanied by Marubeni Corporation representatives, explored OTML's innovative waste management practices, particularly riverine disposal. This visit underscored MMC's dedication to environmental science governance principles. The MMC delegation toured OTML's operations, witnessing the eco-friendly Big Ed dredging operation and Kyunga operations. OTML's strategic growth plans resonated with MMC, strengthening the bond between the companies. Expressing commitment, Tsukamoto emphasized sustaining collaboration between 2026. OTML CEO Kedi Ilimbit reciprocated this dedication and looked forward to expanding opportunities. Japan remains OTML's primary copper concentrate market with a 36-year partnership history. This visit highlights the enduring ties between the companies and their shared vision for sustainable growth. And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2790 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2715 US, $0.4103 Australian dollars, $0.2390 euro, and 38.12 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, cocoa closed higher today. The rest closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll be back with news from around the region after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic Kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for him chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Whatever you need for your building and home improvements, we got you covered. Hardware House. We supply high-quality professional tools, plumbing and electrical supplies, homeware and outdoor products, paints, building materials and much more, all at affordable prices. And with our experienced staff, we will provide you with the right advice and help you need. So for all your building and home improvement needs, Bayuki Simware, Hardware House. Quality at affordable prices.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like it more.
Superstition ain't the way.
Chef Scott Laseth is cooking up the world's creepiest critters.
You with me? No.
Iguana, hagfish, and wild boar are just some of the items in this season's menu.
Let's eat. And eat. And eat. It's nothing like you've had anywhere.
Hey, dead meat!
Dead meat. An all-new season. Coming soon on Outdoor.
Challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship match right here. Oh! Here comes the man. Oh my God! And everybody loves Seth freaking Rollins.
Greatness feeds greatness, captivating this generation and inspiring the next. Will you be there to witness it?
Welcome back. In regional news, drinking kava is a part of Pacifica life. It's now for sale in Australian markets, and some determined Aussies have seen an opportunity to take production to a new level in neighboring Fiji.
It's a plant many Australians wouldn't recognise. But in the South Pacific, it's a market staple. Thank you. This is kava, or what's technically known as Piper methysticum. It's turned into a drink by crushing the dried roots and adding water. A drink that's non-alcoholic, but can have sedative effects.
Demand for kava has turned many subsistence farmers into semi-commercial growers in Fiji and transformed many rural villages. Now, Australia is playing a role in that by helping to lift the quality of kava and also allowing more of it to be imported.
Drinking kava is a centuries-old tradition in Fiji. And it's in this traditional setting I meet one of the most progressive players in the kava industry, Australian Zane Yoshida.
I grew up in Fiji, and I first tried kava as a 13-year-old at a friend's funeral. From that young age, I believed in kava's therapeutic properties and healing properties. A long ambition of mine has been to return to Fiji and embark on the kava journey.
And that's what he's doing here. After leaving Fiji to study engineering in Australia and launch startups across a range of industries in Southeast Asia and the US, the Brisbane-based businessman set up the first foreign-owned kava company in Fiji, which is now publicly listed.
I'm an entrepreneur, and I was inspired by the success and creation of energy drinks. I believe kava can be the relaxation drink equivalent.
The company, Fiji Kava, produces both drinking kava and medicinal products that it says help with relaxation and anxiety. But before it could sell the health benefits, it had to address health concerns that have led to some countries restricting its use. In 2007, Australia banned commercial kava imports because the substance was being abused in some remote Indigenous communities after being initially introduced as an alternative to alcohol. Previously, Germany banned the clinical use of kava over fears it could contribute to liver damage, a decision that was later reversed.
The incidence rate of potential liver toxicity of kava medicines extracted with ethanol and acetone, as an example, was less than what we see today with mainstream consumption of paracetamol.
While Zane says the risks were always low, his factory west of Suva aims to eliminate them, based on the recommendations of the World Health Organization. From using high-pressure cleaning equipment to extracting the active ingredients with water instead of chemicals, and heating the kava in an industrial oven to kill any bugs.
For me, this was reintroducing kava to the West and bringing kava back to the West in a much higher quality in a standardized format, from farm through to shelf.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has issued a call to arms to supporters of the Voice of the Gama Festival in Arnhem Land, promising not to defer or delay the vote. With polls suggesting support for the Voices ebbing away, the PM has told supporters to hold to the courage of their convictions.
Standing his ground. The Prime Minister using his platform at Gama to confirm he won't delay in holding a referendum on an Indigenous voice to Parliament.
We will not abandon substance for symbolism or retreat to platitudes at the expense of progress.
The prospect of failure not a good enough reason to put off the national vote.
There are no guarantees of success, but that's not a reason to delay. It's why we have to hold to the courage of our convictions.
While the message of yes is clear here on Yolngu country, the challenge for campaigners is taking this grassroots sentiment to much more uncertain voters. The PM's decision to hold back on announcing a date may give them some time to build momentum, but it may also leave the no side room to gain a foothold.
Well, if the No campaign had have actually turned up at Gama this weekend, they would have actually seen the very strong, the united voices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
Festival organisers are disappointed representatives from the No campaign chose not to make the trip to Arnhem Land.
Yes, the referendum will be something that will get backed in by this region, but that will then continue to snowball after the event. Using your influence to make sure that Australia does not lose the plot over this, it is not worth that.
Those of us on the yes case need to address the concerns of those who doubt, and those on the no case need to understand the aspirations of Indigenous Australians and others.
But don't expect any compromise on the proposal.
Not our sympathy, not a symbol, but a vehicle for progress, a practical tool to make their children's lives better.
Hearing firsthand from those whose lives he's promised to improve.
Do you believe
us Indigenous people, Islander people and white people to work together and strive together, not only for our next generation's futures, but to look forward as we believe that we can all work together.
And answering the hard questions.
Will you be speaking to the BTN people today?
Children are certainly front and centre here across the weekend, and it's here on the ground that the future Yolngu leaders are learning from their elders, with both culture and a long tradition of Indigenous advocacy being handed down to the next generation.
Young Australian voters are expected to play an important role in the outcome of the Voice referendum. Millennials and members of Gen Z make up more than 40% of enrolled voters. However, not all know exactly what it means.
For Australians under the age of 42, this will be the first time they've ever had to vote in a referendum. Some say they're in support.
I support the Voice to Parliament because we've been given a yes or no question, and I think that we can't say no.
I think that we owe the Indigenous people just one thing at least, and that this could be it.
Others are unsure.
I'm interested to find out more about how the Voice will actually work in practice.
I've heard from a lot of Indigenous people that they don't support it.
A few polls suggest younger Australians are more likely to support the idea than their parents' generation. But for Paul, that's not the case.
There's many issues across the board, and I believe that this Voice is going to do more bad than good, due to the fact that it is breaching Aboriginal protocol in so many ways.
He believes it wouldn't reflect the diversity of Indigenous communities.
People cannot speak on behalf of other tribes, and that's exactly what's happening in regards to the Voice to Parliament.
With activism in his blood, Paul is no stranger to calls for improvement going unheard.
We've been a voice and no one's listened, so I don't know why they would listen to the Voice to Parliament.
According to the government, the Voice would include a permanent youth advisory body, which would aim to provide advice and recommendations on issues that affect young people directly. A good incentive for First Nations youth. Something Noah supports in full.
It'll be an opportunity for younger people to have a say on matters that affect them as well. It's always good to have your elders speaking for you as well, but I think having a mix of opinions and sort of views will be a good thing to go hand in hand together.
He believes a Voice would be an important step towards reconciliation.
If we have a Voice to Parliament, can have a say on stuff that impacts us, ultimately at the end of the day, that's a good thing, I believe.
Influenced by his elders, he wants to see improvements for generations to come.
We're the future of this country, and so I think something like this will be, a start of a good path to go down to be more united.
A complex range of opinions about a somewhat simple question.
You're watching TVWAN News. In sports, Hunters shocked Dolphins, Meoks declared minor premiers, and Australia smashed England to take back Netball World Cup.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain tamer, when quality counts.
The Planet Shakers Band is returning to Port Moresby. Join us at the Believe Next Gen and Family Fun Day events on the 25th and the 26th of August at Sir John Guy's Indoor Stadium. It will be 2 days of fun with live music for the whole family. Tickets are now available at Vision City. We'll see you there.
Want more data for less? Get it now with Digicel's revamped Red Club. Enjoy data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Plus rollover data, the widest coverage, fastest speeds, and best reliability. Only with Red Club. Join Digicel's exclusive Red Club today and get loads more data for less. Yes! Data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Whoa! Join today for as low as 10 kilo weekly to access discounted data bundles and get more data for less. Dial *675# or visit the My Digicel app today. The Red Club, only with Digicel.
There's nothing more intense than this thing. I've been in racing my entire life since I was 3 or 4 years old.
Every time you get in one of these things, your life is in danger.
There's no room for error. I mean, this is life or death. I'm determined.
We travel across the country with this beast, and people just go nuts.
Through the Community Grants Program, civil society organizations can apply for grants of up to 50,000 kina, which are focused on delivering development projects in line with our funding priorities. Applications are now open. Applications close in September 2023 at 5 p.m. For more information, visit foundation.digitalpacific.com.
He's back. Maybe the only way he can die is if I die too. For the last time we fight.
Halloween Ends. Premieres Saturday, August 12th, 10 p.m. on HBO.
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh, my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked it well, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Welcome to the John's Family Podcast, people.
Sort of.
What are you
laughing at?
I just thought of something. I don't feel like dancing. On that note, guys, have a good week. We'll speak to you next. Welcome. In sports, early this afternoon, PNG Rugby Union named its 23-man wider train-on squad for the 2023 Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands. It has also named its female team, which comprises 22 players. Following the release of the team list, there were issues concerning players who are not actively playing in the code, but selected from the sister code Rugby League. In response to this, President of the PNG Rugby Union, Paul Siwi, said the team was selected about 6 months ago after a successful screening and testing processes. But this is not the final list. The committee will sit down and discuss before a final selection is made. Information on training and campaign will also be released when the final team is being named. The SP-PNG Hunters have produced a miracle comeback in the round 20 of the QRL Host Plus Cup, defeating the Redcliffe Dolphins 26-22 with a match-winning try as a siren sounded across the Santos National Football Stadium. Port Moresby locals were treated to an entertaining and seesawing contest on Saturday as the Hunters and Dolphins trade blows between. The Hunters scored the winning try to seal the win and pick up the Stan Joyce Cup.
It was the Hunters who started fastest, with their key players having positive involvements in the opening exchanges. Having laid a platform earlier around the ruck, Judah Rimbu's crypt service set things up for Jamie Mavoko and More Morea to fire their first shot in attack. Quick hands from the Hunters fullback and strike centre Roderick Tai beat the jamming defence before sending Solowane into the in-goal for the opening try. From a midfield scrum, the speed and footwork of Dolphins captain Cameron Callan split the Hunters' defensive line on the right edge to slice through for Redcliffe's first points on the 28th minute. A late tackle from Redcliffe saw Mavoko kick a penalty goal after the half-time siren, giving the Hunters an 8-4 lead at the break. The Hunters started the second half the way they finished the first. From a good attacking set inside Dolphins half, the combo of Tai and Wane got the Hunters further in front when Wane scored his second. PNG's third of the afternoon, courtesy of rookie 5'8" Joshua Lau, put himself in the box seat on the fifth tackle and rolled a perfectly weighted grabber into the in goal for back rower Walden Tau Loy, who won the race to the ball and grounded it just before the dead ball line. Dolphins' resilience paid off when Harrison Graham dived over beside the ruck and then Jack Bostock leaped over above Morea to score Redcliffe's third of the afternoon. With the game in the balance, Lau turned half a chance into points with a moving run and a powerful feint to score Hunter's next try. A clever offload from Lau found Benji caught between defenders and the back rower exploded to life in the backfield for the match winner. At full-time, Hunters 26, Redcliffe's 22.
Yeah, it was a very, very tough game. We always know what we're in for coming over to PNG, so certainly wasn't a surprise. We just weren't good enough in the end. We had our opportunities. We had a kick at field goal. We had plenty of opportunities. We just weren't good enough, and credit to the Hunters, they were.
I thought the first half we lacked discipline when we had the ball in their goal line. We just gave back a lot of errors, loose balls. So we said that in the second half we just have to be clinical in when we have the ball. And when we did that, we just had to make use of the opportunity that was given, and that's what the boys did. And yeah, look, can't thank the boys enough. Despite our attack, I would give credit to the defense. Our defense won the game for us today.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The EPG Anga Mioks are the ultimate winners of the Don Fawkes Memorial Minor Premiership Shield after topping the 2023 DG Selection Mobile Cup competition. The Mioks defeated Gulf ISO 18-14 in their closing round 16 clash in Lae on Sunday to complete the monumental season with 15 wins and 1 draw. At the conclusion of the regulation rounds, Miok finished outright clear leaders with 31 points, 6 points clear of the second-place Tigers on 25 points, Wigmen third place on 24 points, Gurias fourth place on 22 points, Muruks fifth on 17 points, and Lahani sixth on 17 points. The top 6 teams will proceed to Week 1 of the elimination finals this Sunday, August 13, at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby. In Game 1, Week 1, Wigmen play 6th place Lahanis, and in Game 2, Gurias meet 5th place Muruks. Mioks and Tigers are on bye. East New Britain Egma Prabal Gurias came in the second half to secure a 40-30 victory over the fast-finishing Wampingam Mount Agan Eagles in the round 16 clash at the Santos National Football Stadium on Sunday. Eagles found the Gurias wanting in the opening half of the high-scoring affair, but could not hold on in the end.
East New Britain Egma Gurias could be counting their lucky stars after a horror start to Sunday's match against 12th place and fellow foundation club Wamnga Mount Hagen Eagles before rallying back into the contest in the second half to secure the win. The seesaw clash saw high-flying Eagles living up to their name by early exposing Gurias' left edge to draw first blood.
They're working quickly towards the short side, some space to move, and they're racing for the corner. The Eagles have posted first points here. Only 3 minutes into the contest, and the referee confirms it's try time.
Gurias were next to visit the Eagles line not once but twice through tries to Nathan Tete and William Tirang to hit the lead to a 4.
He's only got a fullback to beat back on the inside, and good support play there. Carries Peter Asir-Boas, held it up over the top, Tirang, and he goes over for the Gurias second.
Gurias' defense was exposed again. This time, Eagles got a hat-trick with tries to second rower Noah John, Eliza Peter, and Henry Wan for a handle lead 2012 over Gurias.
No look pass and runs into a yawning gap. Try time, the Eagles are in, and an inside ball, too good to watch. That was Potri in motion, the Eagles.
Tente from a Eagles kick into his in goal ran 110 meters to score at the other end to cut back the margin 16-20 until half-time.
The referee here play on as Tenton Tete now circles around and he sets pace and he got the pace. Here's a Benji Ben.
Gurias came out of the sheds with a spring in their step, scoring 4 unanswered tries through Alex Max getting a double, Stephen Bruno
Alex, he's
and
the man.
Trenters surging
There it
ahead
is.
to
Alex Max
34-20.
has gone over, crashing over some would-be defenders. Flat pass. I think he's just getting through the basics. Oh, Alex again, and
Eagles showed some great resilience to stay in the grind, and their efforts were rewarded with 2 late tries.
There's a try on here. The Hagen Eagles score a fantastic try.
At full time, the Gurias 40, Eagles 30. Tente was the man of the match. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Patience, resilience and discipline were key factors to Croton Hella Wigman's thrilling 16-10 victory over their Southern Highlands neighbour PRK Mandy Muruks on Sunday at the Santos National Football Stadium. The much-anticipated clash was the main draw card of the triple header played in front of the packed crowd stadium.
Croton Hella Wigman's gutsy win against the ominous Muruks outfit was testament to their cool-head mentality and good game management and their resilience to sustain pressure in effort areas. As anticipated, the fans and supporters got into the groove nice and early as the teams worked through their conservative opening sets with high completion rate as the epic battle intensified. Muruks showed some early dominance in their attacking prowess, resulting in posting first points from a Terry Wapi acrobatic touchdown for a 6-0 lead.
Muruks charging forward, good hands, and that looks forward. Beautiful put down there.
Wigman's resilience finally paid off in the 38th minute with a try to 19-year-old Tokurara secondary student under Endeso for a 4-6 score heading to the break.
The short pass, and this time it might be a try.
The grueling battle continued in the second half, but it was Wigman's new recruit and intercept expert Andrew Solo with a trademark display to lead 8-6.
Here it comes, picking off Andrew Solo. There he's racing away. Look at Lama racing across to shut him down, but Solo's going to go all the way. Shut the gate.
Muruks were next to return serve with a try to Robert Gigmai to put Muruks back in front 10-8. The seesaw battle continued, this time utility forward Hoots Kawage over for Wigman in the 59th minute. Muruks' ill-discipline finally took its toll, gifting 2 points to Wigman General Pokare to nail it right in front to close the game at 16-10 Wigman's favour. Man of the match went to Wigman's back rower Joshua Nogoya. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
In regional sports, a formidable Fijian have taken down Japan 35-12 to secure a clean sweep at the final game of the Pacific Nations Cup in front of a packed crowd at Tokyo's Prince Chichibu Stadium. Fiji were dominant throughout Saturday's clash, punishing Japan after the home side were reduced to 14 men early in the first half. The Fijians already had the lead after turning over a rock in Japan's half, leaving captain Waisea Nayakalevu to run in a try of 2 neat offloads. Fijian's superior strength, speed, the handling were all the display auguring well for the World Cup campaign in France in September and October, when Australia and Wales will be among the group opponents. Australia's Diamonds clinched their first title to finish business as they smashed England 61-45 to take back the cup with their largest World Cup final victory in 28 years.
Defeat through the roses at the World Cup in the preliminary stages, going down 56-55. But England were unable to make it 2 historic wins in 4 days as they lacked tenacity and ran out of steam. The first quarter of the final was incredibly tight, with both teams tied at 13 all at the break. The second quarter started in similar fashion until changes were made almost midway through. At half-time, these changes helped Australia go up by 4 goals, 27-23. And when the game restarted after the main break, that lead continued to grow. Stars Ash Brazil and Sophie Gabin pulled at the heartstrings of Diamonds fans as the pair made the most of every goal, potting at will. England struggled to adapt and went searching for answers as they rotated through their squad to try to find a way to shut down the Diamonds' attack. Entering the fourth quarter, the Diamonds were in front by 10 goals and managed to prevent the Roses from reaching double digits in those last 15 minutes, 15-9, to enjoy a comfortable victory as the clock wound down. Susan Oriape, TV1 Sports.
Matilda's fans are set to bring the house down during tonight's knockout match against Denmark in the Women's World Cup. The Opera House will be lit up in green and gold while Bondi Sea's wall has had a makeover.
Well, it's been pouring rain, but the Matildas won't let that dampen their spirit, and World Cup fever is definitely here, and Bondi Beach has been transformed. This section of the seawall is now a mural by Melbourne artist Danielle Webber, and it shows and features some of the players in the Matildas, including captain Sam Kerr, and the artist says that she really wanted to honour the players and that she hopes that this painting helps them see how they've inspired millions of Australians and so many others around the world. And also she says she's excited for the players to see this painting, but she's a bit daunted because she hopes that they love how they've been portrayed. Of course, the Matildas are still riding high off their 4-0 victory over Canada last week, and people are excited to see captain Sam Kerr take the field tonight as well. And dozens of landmarks around Sydney will also be lit up in green and gold, including the Opera House, Central Station, Luna Park and the Art Gallery as well.
And here is the weather for the next 24 hours.
That's been another edition of TV1 News. I'm Maricela Calaton.
And I'm Rex Lita. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.